Slander Saturday.
That's a very pretty Z kill.
Yeah, yeah. I
Hi
mean, I
guys, welcome
probably
to
should have.
Serious Slander Saturday, your AUTZ Eve show of just shenanigans, whatever the topic of the week is, and whatever bullshit we come up with, and whatever one of you lovely drunk fucks that jump on and have a chat with us. I'm K Legals. I am a Strat FC of Test. With me is my co-host Luke Chua
Hello, hello. And
and special guest Globby, who later will talk about the changes CCP has made to ganking and Concord. So welcome
yeah,
to the show.
yeah, I probably should have figured out the stream beforehand. It's never good way to start with echoing Twitch back into OBS and becomes a bit of a
Right,
nasty.
I apparently I had that on for about 10 minutes at the beginning of the show. So good.
Oh no, 10 minutes. If it's really bad, it can get to like
Oh
terrible
yeah, the
feedback
e
levels and
splitting. Yeah.
like feeding a microphone into a speaker.
Hello, Bass Sierra.
As you can see in the title, our main topic today is Brave's entire cap fleet died spectacularly and um, in a pretty Eve fashion, and was over a grudge. That obviously being Sandrin's and Diva's against Brave, the crimes they committed against Diva, of course. And
Leave Diva alone. She's just some pug that wants to sleep on a couch and run around outside. Oh wait, wrong Diva. Sorry, talking about the court full of divas.
okay, yeah, I guess we can get on Cal's personal opinion on the matter later, but yeah, the factor of the matter is how many caps did Brave lose? It's probably a few
uh,
dozen at least.
well, you got the Z kill off. Why don't we toss that Z kill and have a look at the or the BR? Have you got the BR? Or do I need to link it to you?
Hang on, I'll get it up. You talk about what happened a little bit first. I know you've got a little summary of that, Cal.
Yeah, alright. So, Sandrin, I asked Sandrin to jump on the show tonight. He said he's not able to because he was being a bitch and gone to bed at 7:30 in the morning after all the fighting. Like, come on. How could he not want to jump on this show? Look at the textures on those fucking. Anyway, so the after action report that I got from Sandrin is Brave anchoring a fort in Bandalog space. We, being Test or Diva, or wormhole over with a similar sized hack fleet to Brave, with Bandalogs bringing a 70-man serve fleet. When we come into local, Brave disengages from Bandalogs and brings 20 carriers and resumes the fight. We drop 15-ish Diva Dreads on the carriers. Brave counter drops what dreads they have available. After we wait a bit to see if more will jump in, Horde brings in their 50-ish dreads, link carriers, and tackle rorks. After one siege cycle, it's over. Everything's dead. We clear bubbles with bombers and jump out. Sub fight going on in the background the entire time is still ongoing. Eventually, the test fleet has to disengage as, being in brave staging, they are able to continue to reship. Vandalogs keeps fighting and drops 2 dreads to damage cap the fort. Once the fort is dead, Brave drop 4 dreads to kill the 2 Bandalogs dreads, and the Bandalogs lose both dreads but kill the Brave one in return as well as the fort. So I guess it was an op success. They they took out the anchoring fort. That's the
Yeah,
BR
it's
at the
like
moment.
it's pretty chaotic with all these different sides.
Yeah, so did they have a couple of third parties hop in, did they? Wait, that Test and Brave sitting on the same site? No, okay, cool. It's just Brave and there's like
No,
fraternity and Brave side.
on this side there's some random third parties. There's Bandalogs here by themselves. 76. That's quite a
Well,
lot actually.
I think you need to throw banner logs in with Test. 'Cause I think that we were fighting with them, weren't we? Or were we
I mean,
third
this is
party?
kind of like a comprehensive BR where it's like the people
Okay.
working together on the same side.
Yeah, not fair enough.
We have
Test had some good
195 out of
numbers.
the
Look at that. Yeah, 129. Go Test.
229.
129. Go
Oh,
Test.
right, right, yeah. I mean, it's better than most test ops, right? Maybe it's
Mhm.
the Diva special coming into play.
Yeah, most of that probably was Diva.
And let me take a quick look at this. What's going on here? Hmm. Alright, anyway.
What was that? Lucari. Lucari was looting. Look, wait, what the hell? Hang on, I got to message him.
So basically, Horde and Test came to dunk on Brave and got baited out by some Diva dreads that they drew. So how much of like Brave's cap fleet do we think this is? Do we think it's all of it, or like half or a quarter?
I'm not sure. Like, it really comes down to whether or not, after we left Delve, whether or not Brave decided to, cut their cache down so they were able to move around easier if they're still hauling it around. If they're still hauling their cash around off, capitals, it's probably not all of it. It's probably what was available at the time, people who are online. But judging from the looks of it, I'm gonna guess it's definitely a big chunk of that particular time zone's cap fleet.
Yeah, I remember seeing that Dunk Dinkle was on Merkel Chen's stream at the time, and he was talking about scarcity and whatnot. It was a bit awkward because Brave's cap fleet was dying at the same time as him being on stream, but he was also talking about how um, Brave like sourced caps from cheap places around New Eden and then just brought them over to their staging instead of actually building them, because that's the state of how capital acquisition is right now.
Oh, for
So
sure. Like capitals are selling for less than the base price to make them. I mean, it takes nearly 200 bill now to put a Titan into production, but they're only selling for 120. Even supers, it takes close to 100 bill now to make them, and they're still only selling for 30. So yeah, it's definitely the right way to go, is to buy them rather than make them. Because if you make them, you're at a net loss.
yeah, basically nobody's making them. Uh, but we're not here to talk about scarcity. We're here to talk about uh, more of Brave's kind of position inside of that, because I'm sure scarcity has been talked about way too much already. But
Yeah.
yeah, with like all those caps dead, not sure Brave's going to be around in Pure Blind much longer.
Well, weren't they moving, or did that end up just being like bullshit spin Reddit post?
They're moving again. You go from Curious to Geminet to Pure Blind to somewhere else in the space of like a couple months.
I'm not sure.
If they're trying to do that, then it's not gonna turn out all that well for them.
I'm actually pulling up the battle report myself so I can have a look at it. There we go. I think that's it. Fortizana Rev. Yeah, that is a lot of dreads. Definitely lost a whole bunch of nitties, a bunch of minnows. Actually, like looking at it now, like it is a sizable chunk of capitals, but unless Brave have decided to downsize, it really isn't that many, considering, actually, I was never in Brave, so I've got no idea. But I know, like, for test standards, that's not many capitals. It's like a drop in the water.
Yeah, I guess, but this is Brave we're talking about, right?
Yeah, true. I don't know. Anyone from Brave able to Anyone from Brave who wants to hop onto the show, feel free. Jump onto the New Eden Post Discord. Link is down in the About section of Twitch. Fucking, I'm a bit of a Twitter.
Some
It
of
looks
this
like
is pretty interesting. Like they die in their dread and then reship into like a Morse and then a retribution. That's the
Yeah.
most brave thing I've ever seen.
What is it? There was a. Was it posted in the cesspool? I think the screenshot of someone on Discord when he's like, "Today I lost this and this and this and this and this," and it was just like each ship he reshipped to.
Yeah, there's a lot of reshipping going on. Although I guess that does have something to do with them being in the staging. Nidhogg Scimitar Munin.
It looks like there's a couple of videos have actually already been released about it.
Oh no, Shattered Armor. Dies in a monitor, reships to a Claymore, reships to a Munin, then reships to a Cerberus. Poor guy.
Was Well, considering the fact that his Munin got blapped like that, Munins aren't that easily, not Munins, monitors is, well, I know because I usually FC from a monitor and not a fucking eagle. Monitors are pretty hard to take down, so he must have had quite a lot on him, or most of his fleet and logi must have been taken down.
How do you feel like as Shattered in that situation?
I mean,
You
look,
just
how
got
would anyone
baited
feel in
hard
that
and
situation?
you're like feeding caps left and right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I think we've had this discussion before when it comes to cap fights. So it's whoever escalates the hardest wins. So in that situation, you've got a bunch of carriers and stuff on field, and going off Sandrin's after action report, the first escalation was they brought in 20 carriers. That was like obviously the first escalation from subcaps to capitals was to 20 carriers. To which that escalation was 15 dreads. Then Brave counter dropped their dreads because in that situation you either go, okay, do we take this loss or do we escalate? Obviously, Brave decided to escalate, so they dropped dreads on that dread bomb, and then that's when Horde drops 50 fucking dreads. I mean, at that point, you either start dropping supers, or if you haven't got the dreads, or you sit there and go, okay, they won the escalation fight. Whatever's on the field's dead.
Yeah, well, the key to the dunk here being is that they obviously didn't expect Horde to have like 50 dreads in range ready to go.
No, that would definitely would have been the that would have been the kicker. You ever feel like looking back at fights, you feel like a sportscaster? You know what, Tom? I cannot believe that he went for that goal. 15 dreads down with the counter drop. 50 dreads come in, and they'd go.
Home run for
Home run for Diva and
home run for
Horde on that one.
Sandrin's.
Look, he's got to have gone to bed with a either a raging hard on or he already messed the underside of his desk after that because it was it was definitely a fight. But yeah, look, I definitely think I definitely agree with you. I think it was the 50 Horde dreads will definitely have been because, as I said, at that type of escalation, as we both know, having fought and delve, when you drop that many dreads on the field and you don't have enough to counter them, the only thing you can do is supers. And I guess Shadow decided not to press the big red button.
It's probably a good idea. They're probably not even in range because they're all like still stored in the forge, I believe, because they
Yeah,
have nowhere else
probably.
to store.
Yeah, I think they're in the fraternity Freeport, isn't it?
Ojinen, I believe. It's Ojinen, right?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, something like that. Something close to Geminate, and they stashed all their supers in there, and now they're kind of ages away from them.
I got a message in the test Discord. Please narrate all future fights like that.
I mean, but like talking about the horde dreads like being the main factor there. You gotta ask, like, how did they manage to get them around there without Brave noticing? It's got to be the main fuck up there.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure. I know Diva's been dribbling theirs in. That's been pretty public. or I guess public if you were looking. But as for the Horde dreads, I've got no idea where they came from. I mean, for all I know, it could have been a cache sitting there from a previous time.
I remember I heard that it was a Ford Vanguard Corp Rome that got logged off. Not sure what kind of Corp Rome moving dreads is, but
Oh, mate, you need to join Black Omega, our random cap roams back before the Delve War. Let's go
oh,
take Nano Supers into Stain.
that's another thing to talk about. Dave Archer had a birthday roam, and he decided to bring out his Hornag. So he took it to Pureblind and like threw it on the ESS. So Horde decides to bring Tempests to like kill all the goon battleships and whatnot that are accompanying Dave in his trip. And so as all the friendly battleships die, we ping Kikis and come in just as a brave Revelation lands to try and kill Dave with cap guns.
Oh, that's right, and he swapped his guns just in time, didn't he? And ended up shooting the Brave Rev.
Uh, don't. I think like almost all of the damage on the Brave Rev was just Kiki's, so he probably did manage to fit to cap guns, but it's probably mostly dead already.
Yeah. I mean, look, in that situation, like, in the end of the day, it's, it was fun. Like, fucking good on him for, taking a capital out, especially with the prices they are now, just for a bit of fun for you and your guys. Yeah.
Yeah, some people are still rich enough to bring out the big guns on occasion, even if they are super expensive. All
Yeah.
depends on what you're at, relatively speaking.
So I'm curious. So let me check out the timeline for this. So,
Do you want to bring it up again?
if you can, yeah, the kids can look at home. I'm just checking out the timeline at the moment. So it looks like the first ship to go down was the Bandalog's Rapier. So I'm guessing that was the Sino, checking on the timeline. And then looks like we took out Brave Sino and a Hugin. But like considering the numbers, like I'm still at the top, so I'm just looking at the beginning of this. Like in the time it took them to take out a Simian and a Munin, we'd taken out two Munins, another Rapier, two Flycatchers, and a Hawk. So they got a Munin. We killed another Simi, a Hugin, a Jag, a Human, and a Simi. Then we lost a Simi, and we killed two Simi. So it looks like it was the good old fashioned, take out their Logi first.
Well, you guys
Um,
weren't going very well to begin with, right? Like,
it
Braves
looks
just
like
losing cruisers, right? And then suddenly two test dreads, but then it suddenly turns around.
yeah. I'm guessing that's. I wonder how let me check the dread losses. I want to see if this is when they brought in the carriers. Okay, yeah. So this must have been after they brought in the carriers because there's two carriers on the kill now. But like, you gotta remember. So Diva dropped their dreads. They had about 15. And then Brave counter dropped, and it was only after a little bit and after they were, I'm going to guess probably bubbled and in siege that Horde then counter dropped. So I'm guessing Sandrin went in there with those the dreads originally, knowing there was a good chance he was going to lose a chunk of them, but hopefully drawing out a fight, and he got it.
I mean, you can't not be happy with this if you're on test side, right?
Yeah, look, lost two nags in return, a minnow, a nag, a phoenix, and a nag. Lost another test nag, then Brave lost another phoenix, a
We just look
munin.
at the summary, right? Like three nags for what have we got here? Revelation, three nags, five phoenixes, one archon, two thanatoses, and just a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah, it looks like all up we lost 5 out of 62, and Brave lost 9 out of 12. They lost 19 out of 20 carriers. They lost 5 out of 5 if you go up to summary. And then do it by groups. Yeah, they lost all their faxes, half their monitors. Well, I mean, 1 out of 2. All their link ships was destroyed. And nearly every single one of their logi as well.
Yeah, so basically speaking, Brave got dicked by Test and Horde, and Bandalogs is like that guy in the Two Girls Fighting meme. Smoking crack.
I mean, what was the like? It wasn't even that much of a blob. I mean, all up, if we have a look at it, Brave had 200 on the field, with give or take the third parties because it's a bitch to work out which is which. Because there was like even an initiative person in there apparently on the kill board. It was the initiative Ares trying to go on the kills. But it wasn't that much. Like what 70? Would you call 70 more than your opponent a blob, or like what number and what does it become a blob? Is it 2v1? Like, is that when you start saying, oh, they're blobbing us, or
Depends on like the percentages more straight numbers. Like if you're running maybe 40-50% more than the other side, then that's probably like getting on the blob side. But yeah, sometimes those fights are winnable, but it's just like a kind of bit of a gradient towards blobbing if you get around 40-50% more. But
yeah?
from this, like the birthday room incident with Dave, you gotta ask, like, what is Shattered Armor doing?
I
It's
mean, he's
obviously
doing the
not
best
having
he
the
can.
greatest time with Brave, is he?
Hey, look, we've had this discussion on Trash Talk Tuesday, and I think we've had this discussion on Serious Slander Saturday. You know, we've got to give him props. He's broken away from the block life, so to speak. He struck out on his own in a situation that I'm not sure has Shuttered ever been in a situation before where he's been running an alliance without friends, so to speak. You know, like at least he's giving it a go, and I got to admit that's like. Okay, that came off a little bit harsh, but you know what I mean. Like he doesn't
Just a
have a
little
legacy backing up.
bit.
He's not a part of a coalition, you know. Like, and coming from a situation at the moment as being in an FC and alliance without a coalition, we've got friends, obviously. You know, Pandemic Horde. Shout out to Goblins. But other than that, you know, where for the first time FCing in test, I don't have a button to call all my friends. You know what I mean? Like I'm just flying as test. And for the first time, Shadow's probably doing the same thing. He doesn't have, you know, Big Brother Test to come save him. Ooh. Uh, but you know, and he's got fucking Sandrin, who's become one of our military directors, with you know, a fucking heart on like the goddamn Eiffel Tower pointed directly at his rear end. So he's doing the best he can in this situation. I give him props to it. Like I like Shattered. You know, I fought a lot with him in the war. He's a good bloke, and just like me, he's made some bad decisions. There's probably a few fights I shouldn't have taken. Same can be said for all of us, really. But fucking look, at least he's giving it a go, eh? Miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I don't know. I've heard like various snippets of his fleets and like stuff going wrong on his fleets, and it's like, is this really like the military head of Brave? Is he really gonna lead them out of the ashes?
Should have heard us last night where we went after those frat supers, and I'm like, all right, guys, I'm dead. The other FCs are dead. Just try to get home. I mean, it does get
Yeah,
to a certain point where it's like, what the fuck are you? What the fuck can you really do in some situations where your back's against the wall, the gun's at your head? You can either sit there and take it, or you can scream defiance until the very end.
I mean, I'm gonna I'm gonna try get up a clip of it. If you guys haven't heard Shattered already, because it's pretty interesting. just like his style of FC. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Dictor's the up and fleet. Dictor's the up and fleet. Dictor's
Is
the
this
up and
the
fleet.
is
Dictor's
this
the
the
up and
video?
fleet.
Props
Dictor's
on,
the up
props
and
on,
fleet.
props on.
Dictor's the up and fleet. Get bubble up. Get bubbles. 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 Bubbles on them. Get a bubble on these towers. Get. Come on, bubble, bubble, bubble. Stop bubbling them. Stop bubbling them. They're in a fuck hick bubble. They don't need to be bubbled. You're just bubbling us and getting us killed. Just align to them. Just align to the towers. Just align to the towers. Don't anchor up. Line, align, align. Wake up. Wake up, people. If you're out of range,
I'm not sure if you could hear that, Kale, but
Yeah, we can. I'm listening to the stream.
so
It sounds like ProGod.
you're not surprised his nickname is Mini PGL.
No. But you know, ProGod. Fuck. All right. How do I put this shit? There's a bunch of SCs who have been playing E for a long time. That you've got to admit that a lot of us as like newer FCs look up to. For me, he's playing since 2012. That would be Faulty and ProGod and Asher and stuff like like the old guard Elo. And then we all kind of get our mannerisms from learning from one of these people who have impressive victories and campaigns under their belt. And Shattered's obviously picked ProGod to emulate. Maybe not best idea. I love you, PGL.
The
But
funniest thing like I've seen is I've actually played League of Legends with my friends from high school, and the most hilarious thing is they found a new guy from playing League of Legends and added him to the group, and we started playing, and he started talking, and he sounded like he had like Elo mannerisms, and
yeah.
I asked him, hey dude, do you play EVE Online? He's like, yeah dude, I play EVE Online, dude. And they're like,
Oh,
what group are you in? He's like, Pandemic Legion, whatever. I'm like, do you used to be in Black Legion? And he's like, yeah, dude, I used to be in BL. And yeah, literally found this random guy playing League of Legends who played EVE Online because I recognized his voice. I found out just because of the way he fucking talked. It was the strangest experience of my life.
oh wait, it wasn't Elo.
No, it wasn't Elo. It was some guy who played in Black Legion emulating Elo's voice talking. Because Elo had such a cult of personality.
Right.
People
So
talk like fucking Elo, dude. It's
so you're
crazy.
saying that PGL is actually rubbed off on Shattered enough to kind of have the same mannerisms and sound the same.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like rubbed off on him, but like that's
I
kind of
mean,
weird. But
what happens at E Vegas stays at E Vegas, right?
yeah. But yeah, that was my 2 cents. It was a crazy phenomenon. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, no, I found people who play Eve too. If you guys have got to notice, and I think everyone watching has ever noticed, FCs usually repeat things 3 times. Have you ever got that? Like we'll be like, all right, guys, warp to the gate, warp to the gate, warp to the gate. Like we usually 3 times, just because language barriers, lag, all that kind
That's
of
called
shit.
normal speed. Meanwhile, Shattered Armor says it like 20 times.
Yeah,
just-
yeah, we got to get through Netflix.
I'd
But yeah,
struggle getting through one of his fleets if I went on one of.
I kind of get like that. When I get overly excited when I'm like dumpstering one of your fleets, or fucking with the Feroxes, and I'll just yeah, man, dumpster your Feroxes. One of the best parts of Dell. I'll be like that. I'll be like, all right, guys, come on, let's go. All right, get the tackle. Come on, get in front of them. Bubble them. Come on, let's go. Yes.
If you're saying that, that's less time you could spend target calling. So there's that.
Yeah, well, that's why I usually get Thomas to target call, because he's the really cool, calm, collected voice of the Test FC team. Where I'm that ADHD kid without his medication. But as I said, sometimes I get like that. But yeah, I found a couple of people because I was playing New World before. I'm fucking sick of the exploits, man. It's fucked. And I found them in like PvP zones and war zones because they were doing that. They were repeating everything 3 times. I'm like, hey bro, have you played EVE Online? He's like, yeah, how do you know? And I'm like, because you're like, this is the target, this is the target, this is the target. All right, we're going to C, going to C, going to C.
Premier C. primary CA, secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, sword and board of XL, sword and board of XL, right? Moving on to life stuff of AL into life stuff. Yeah, basically.
And corrupt prop ones on. Oh, whoops, sorry.
No, it's more like actually it's similar. In wars, you get haste potions. And I'm like, all right, guys, Kale's at the front. I'm jumping. All right, everyone follow Kale. Pop your haste potions. Pop your haste potions. Following Kale. Going to see. It's the new world equivalent of the ranker up prop song. But yeah, no.
Good thing we're not
I'm
New World show. Let's probably stop talking about New World.
yeah. I actually missed the fight. I ended up sleeping in, so I stayed up late last night doing the frat shit. So I slept in and woke up like half an hour after the ping had already gone out, so there was no way to catch up. I was like, fuck. So I didn't actually get to go on that fight. I'm not sure if I'd want to though. I guess we're coming up to that Kale's view on this. As I said before, like I've fought with Brave throughout the entirety of the war, in Legacy, and it rubs me wrong that we've got this massive vendetta against them for something that didn't affect me personally.
I know you
I
and I
mean,
talked about this earlier, but like, what's your opinion on Brave selling the GE keep, which then we use to stage out of with supers and kill 2 of tests keeps?
like I think it was a bit of a dodgy blow. I think they should have either pulled it or let it die. But, and as I said this to you before, and I'll say it now on stream, is like goons are a lot of things, but one thing that you guys are is if you give your word, if your Diplo team gives your word, and I think this is definitely got to do with Vile Rat being like your Diplo way early in the day. Like you back then, if Virat gave you his word that something was going to happen, you knew it was going to happen. And I think you guys have kept that integrity all these years. Is you said you wouldn't let it get abandoned if you bought it. That if you were going to, you would just pick it up so that way everything went to asset safety. And that was the one thing personally to me was like, fuck, they're going to buy this and it's going to go abandoned. And someone's like, no. Their Diplo team said they're going to buy it, it's not going to go abandoned. I was like, all right, well, you guys keep your word. It's not going to happen. It's either going to get exploded or picked up.
Well, don't you think it'd be more beneficial to Brave, though, for us not to abandon it? Like, that's not Brave protecting you, that's Brave protecting themselves.
Well, it's not just Brave stuff there. We were formed out of that keep stuff for a while as well. So we've got assets there too. We've got people who've gone offline and stuff who've got like capitals and shit in that keep star as well.
But the point being that they obviously like didn't take into account the fact that they would give like us the goons an easy way to kill your keeps later on.
I said shit go, but I wasn't at the table. I don't know what kind of situation they were in, either financially or anything, so I can't say much. They might have been at the point where they had to sell the car to keep the house.
So you think it's fine that Braves like sold us the keep?
No, I don't think it's fine, but at the same time, it isn't my decision to make. Like I'm annoyed with it, obviously, as a lot of people are, but I'm not going to vendetta and holy war against Brave over it.
Oh, but Holy Wars are fun. That's what the game's all about.
Oh god, yeah, it is, mate. So I'm just waiting for Duke, fucking Paul Atreides to rock up and start leading the next great holy war to set the stars on fire. All praise God, Emperor Leto II. That's
Right.
a Dune reference for you uncultured swine.
What do you mean? Like, the movie hasn't even come out of Delve just yet. I know everyone's fucking talking about Poch and the Spice Melange and whatever, but it's like, dude, the movie isn't even out here yet.
Well, it released early on a couple of irreputable websites, but I've also read the books.
Fair enough. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's not communicate in June references because I think we've all heard a few too many of those already. We should probably go into Lobby's topic, which is the policy change to ganking.
Don't stop. It's hilarious. Give me a sec. So we've just got a question. Someone asked, Brave Cat Fleet's dead. How, when, and where? About 12 hours ago. Where was it?
And I'll just bring the BR back up 1 second.
Well, and I'll post it up. Apparently that's the video for the fight. Pure blind, wasn't it?
This basically, yeah. EL8, 4Q, you're blind. Fight on a fort, on a Brave fort, and Brave got baited and just lost over 200 bill of caps.
So they were anchoring a fort in Bandalog's territory. Bandalogs and Test formed subs. They were equal number to Braves. Brave pulled off. They brought in, I think, what was it, 10, 20 carriers to fight the subs. Diva, a part of Test, dropped 15 dreads on them. Brave counter dropped dreads. And then fucking Horde came in with the big dick hammer and counter dropped that counter drop with 50 dreads. Cleared all the carriers and most of the dreads off the field, all of the faxes. And then yeah, they ended up finishing off the fort. And then we withdrew because this wasn't our staging. This was anywhere near our staging. Like we had to take wormholes to get here, so we weren't able to reship. So we took the W and fucked off home.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary.
Yeah, TLDR.
On to Globby's topic.
Yes,
Globby, I
Globby.
only just heard about this recently.
Alright.
Do you want to give us a quick rundown of like what's CCP's goal here and what exactly they're doing?
Yeah, sure. It's actually pretty funny because I was the cause for this nearly over 6 years ago now, which is kind of weird to see something that I've done, almost over half a decade ago, coming back to bite me in the rear end.
But it's not the
A
first
little
time, right?
back.
For CCP changing.
No, it's not the first time, but this is the first time it's affecting another part of my gameplay, right? So the fear is back when I was doing the hyperdunking stuff, the fear was that I would push the envelope too much in CCP, and a rash decision would create a new exploit or rule set or an announcement that would screw over other parts of ganking. And I was like, oh, that's stupid. CCP won't. Well, I didn't think CCP was going to do that, but they ended up doing that pretty much at this point. So back in 2015. Right after hyperdunking got nerfed, and hyperdunking was a long, convoluted way to kill freighters with just a couple people, I started coming up with other ideas and ways how to do it. This included dropping off like 1,000 shuttles, and then shooting somebody, and then Concord would have to shoot all the different shuttles to be able to kill me, or dropping off like 2,000 drones, and then Concord would kill you, start shooting through all your drones, but you dropped so many drones, by the time you were off timer, you could get to another ship, warp back, and you would still have drones there, and Concord would have to kill all the drones, and then you could keep shooting the target forever, right? And so after these two events, CCP's like, all right, no more of this ejecting shit to delay Concord, right? And so CCP came out with an announcement, said, hey, any way you delay Concord is against the rules. You will get banned if you delay Concord. And then everyone in the ganking community was like, well, is pulling considered delaying Concord, right? And what pulling effectively is you're moving Concord from one location to another, right? Because if Concord's on grid, if you shoot somebody in high second, Concord's right there, they're going to instantly kill you, right? They're right there, right?
Yeah.
It's nearly instant, right? So you basically can't gank if there's Concord there. And CCP pretty much told us no. They gave us many, hey, no, that's going to be okay. We're going to let you pull, right? Because they didn't see it as delaying Concord. You're just moving it around. You're moving it from point A to point B, right? And this has been the case for 6 years since 2015. We've never had an issue with it. I looked at some of the Z kill stats and some of my private killboard stats because a lot of ganker kills and deaths aren't published to public killboards. There have been nearly 500,000 rookie ship deaths to Concord since 2015. 500,000, okay? Rookie ships that died at Concord are almost all exclusively pulling deaths, right? which means that CCPA has noticed that this has happened 500,000 times since 2015 and has chosen not to act on it, right? However, now I was made aware of it like a week and a half ago, and we're deciding how to react and how to respond. CCP banned someone for pulling in rookie ships. Not just one person. I think it was like 3 or 4 people got banned, permanently banned. Right? No word on the appeal yet. It's been a couple, almost 2
No
weeks
if
now.
buts, maybe it's just fuck you. Okay.
Just banned, and then they clarified it and said you're still staying banned, right? And their reasoning for it was that pulling Concord is delaying Concord. So they've done a 180 on what they originally said at the case, at the original moment, right? Which was
Okay.
the drama, right? So at once they said it was okay and allowed, and now they say it's not. The original confusion is that it's been 6 years. I doubt more than 1 or 2 GMs that were active at that time still even work there now. And I think that they saw the rule and they're interpreting it very literally, not understanding the history behind it. As in, it wasn't to prevent a 2-second or a 6-second change in response time. It was there to prevent a 10-minute change in response time. As in, me and my one catalyst taking 10 minutes to kill a jump freighter. That was the intent to get rid of, right? Not me getting
Yeah.
6 extra seconds because of whatever, right? And so that is what's going on. And the way this kind of really screws up ganking is that they've explicitly said as well that you are allowed to pull Concord to a location to protect you, right? Because that's not delaying Concord response time. That's increasing Concord response time. They respond faster, so that's okay. So what a miner could do, or what anti-gankers could do in Uedama, is simply shoot the gate with like 5 rookie ships and spawn 5 Concord there. However, me as a ganker, I am not allowed to shoot the Citadel off gate and pull those 5 Concord away from the gate onto the Citadel. So people can use the exact same mechanic against gankers completely fine and fair, right? But
Mm.
I can't use the exact same mechanic to stop what they're doing, right?
That doesn't seem very fair to me. Like, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. If you've got a
You would
rule for
think.
one person, it should be for both.
Right, and so this is one of the problems with it. The second problem is that pulling has uses, and pulling is basically undocking with a rookie ship to pull Concord away, right? It's
Yeah.
basically a cheap thing, right? There are many other benefits to pulling Concord away from a gate other than, or a location in general, other than trying to increase the response time. And the only way I can interpret the change in response time is moving Concord away from the gate in the first place, so you actually can gank. Because if they're there, you just can't gank there, right? But there's many other benefits that we do all the time, right? For one, if we've ganked, there's like 3 Concord spawns per person. So if we ganked with like 100 people, there's 300 Concord ships floating around the gate, right? What does this mean? Well, one, that gate is super laggy. That grid is super laggy. It's hard to play, right? The desync on that grid is going to be insane. So if you're bumping a target, it's basically impossible, right? So there's reasons to legitimately pull Concord away from a gate that have nothing to do with the response time. So who's to say me pulling is against the rules? Because I have a different intent. They said that the intent has to be right to increase the response time. So who's to
Yeah.
say? Who knows? Are the GMs even aware? I seriously doubt it. That there's so many different reasons to do it. Like, uh, you can manipulate faction police, which is legal, by the way. You can manipulate the faction militia, which is the factional warfare police, right? Which is completely legal, using criminal characters. There's a lot of different things you can do by pulling and trying to, that happens to also manipulate Concord, right? So if I want to manipulate faction militia or the faction police to do something, it might also manipulate Concord, right? And who's to say what my intent is or what my purpose is? Are the GMs even going to be aware of it? Are they simply going to see I pulled in a rookie ship and died and simply ban me? No one knows, and it's basically impossible for CCP to ever determine true intent. Like, what if I just undocked in a bunch of throwaway Tech 1 catalysts and shot an empty freighter and killed it? Is that pulling? Was my intent to actually kill it? What if we don't actually kill it? What if we shoot and actually fail? Do we all get banned because like the GMs can't tell if we were pulling to trying to pull Concord from one gate to another or not? Like, how would they ever know what our actual intent is? And they can't. They can only guess. And if they're forced to guess, they're going to make a lot of false bans, and they're going to a lot of guilty people go free. And I just think it's untenable. I know I've been monologuing for quite a bit, but there is no. This is like a very bad change to a problem that doesn't really even exist anymore, right? Ganking since 2015 is like a tenth or a fifth of what it was in 2015. Ganking has gone down far. There's only like 3 or 4 regular gankers left, right? So it seems so
Yeah,
weird to me.
I can definitely
Yeah,
say flying through high sec, I get shot at on gates a lot less than I used to.
like jump freighters are slightly more at risk, but that's only because of the strategies and tactics that we've invented, right?
Hmm.
And there was only a handful of us that even jump freighter gank. I mean, from probably of the jump freighters that have died from a suicide gank in high sec, I was probably present for the majority of them, right? Just like because the community is so small, it's only a couple of people, right? And it's just so strange to me now that we've had the lowest rate of ganking we've had in such a long time to put this huge nerf, because this is a huge nerf, right? Because
Oh,
anti-gankers could simply put 5 Concord in every single gate, and then what do?
so if you guys are just joining, Globby's currently talking about a CCP change that they've made where the act of pulling, which is from I gather, is using rookie ships to get Concord to go to a different location in the system away from your ganking targets, is now a bannable offense where it hasn't been for the last 5 years. So they've decided to change their view of the way it was written. So that they used to take it one way, now they're taking another. I think I remember seeing something about this, and Brisk and Merkelchan said they were going to be looking into it. But like, what kind of changes do you think needs to be done? Do you think it needs to be rewritten and being to make it a lot more specific, so there is no wiggle room, or?
Well, I think originally the way CCP defined it was fine, right? They didn't really consider pulling as in moving Concord from one location to another a delay, which makes sense. It really isn't. If you define moving Concord from one position to another a delay, well, ganking itself is a delay, right? The act of ganking is a delay. You're moving Concord from one location to another, so the response time at the other location is lower, right? There's fundamentally no mechanical difference between ganking and pulling other than your intent. And it seems so weird to make a penalty on this. It just blows my mind. And just for the record, people who want to say it was always against the rules, it really wasn't, right? We've been doing this for 6 or 7 years, and it wasn't against the rules, right? 500,000 rookie ships have died, and no one got banned for it up until last week, 2 weeks ago. Merkelchen, Brisk gank with us all the time, and they pull just like everybody else, right? They're not getting banned. They're not getting warned by CCP. Nothing's going wrong with them, right? You have CCP employees participated in our ganks in the past since 2015 to 2021, right? There was a focus group where we talked, and while we were talking, we were ganking with CCP developers and other people, and we were pulling, right?
Yep.
There has been many occasions where CCP employees and CSM members have done the thing that has gotten these people banned, and it has been a-okay. They
Have you
just
got
made a change to their policy.
like have you got receipts? Have you got like conversations and videos and stuff that you can go to CCP and be like, look, this has been okay in the past. These guys are unfairly banned, or?
So if they're now determining that now they're going to change their policy on it, there's nothing we can do. Because now if they say, yeah, we're going to consider this, at this point, we're going to consider this like a delay of Concord. Well, then they're legally banned, but like we would have never known, right? No
Yeah.
one told us.
There needs to be a bit of a grace period, like when you change doctrines in
Well, it needs to be a huge
an
announcement.
alliance,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there needs to be a huge announcement because this is something almost every single ganker does after every single gank, right? This is like you gank a guy, you pull. You gank a guy, you pull. You gank a guy, you pull. This is every ganker almost exclusively does every single one of every after every gank a pull, right? So it's something that's massive. Everybody does it, and it's not something like everybody does it, so it's okay. Everybody does it as a standard practice. This is like saying this is like poisoning the water keg at work, and then like after half the people have drank it, be like, hey, by the way, we poisoned the water keg. Like, what the fuck, dude? Everyone drinks from that thing. Why would you poison it? Well, you
Yeah.
should have known we could have poisoned it. Like 7 years ago, we said we might poison it. Like, what the fuck? It's such a weird thing to do. It's so strange, and especially to permanently ban people after, like, without even telling them. And like when they like, I've looked at it. We've shared all the correspondence internally, and only some of it's been put out. But these GMs genuinely have no idea what they're talking about. It's embarrassing. They misinterpret game mechanics blatantly.
Okay.
And
Luke just threw up the screenshot of the warning, and he just took it down.
Yeah, I just took it down. But yeah, that was a quick look at the was it the kind of warning that a GM gave someone for playing Concord with Corvettes?
Yeah,
That's the
it
main
just
thing.
said.
It said that you're not allowed to do that.
No, it's really weird, like the way CCP goes about stuff like this, because I opened up a ticket about Dreadbomb using actual player names on their beacons. Like, don't get me wrong, I know goons, you do it, Tess, we've done it too, but we always use ship names. We never use player names, and Dreadbomb was using player names, and I went up to CCP and I'm like, yo, this is like, in my view of the EULA, this is against it. And their thing was, it is, but we're not going to do anything about it at this time. Like, the fact that they allow some things that are against it and not others, and then change their mind in a moment's notice, like, I think there needs to be a slight bit of grace period in stuff like this, especially if it is something that is so ingrained in the ganking community for, as what did you say, 7 years, 2015 to 2021, nearly
everyone
7
does
years.
it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
the
like,
people
give it
even
a bit
did
of
it
grace
before.
period,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, people even did it before. It has existed since Eve existed, right? It's been practiced since the game came out, right? The only issue is in 2015, something else was declared an exploit, and then people were like, "Well, that's worded differently. What about polling? Is that okay?" And CCP said, "Yeah, that's fine," right? So
Yeah.
only since 2015 it was kind of on the edge or whatever, but CCP told us it was good back then,
Like,
right?
I remember pulling back in the day, you'd get a bunch of super tanked battleships and you'd pull Concord to a gate. And this was before Concord had a power to divide your ship by 0.
Mhm.
And you could tank them on the gate for ages and basically have a system free to gank. And then they changed the way Concord deals damage. Like, so, yeah, this is something that was. Pulling was something that's been going on even, as you said, before 2015.
Well, and there's like a couple separate issues here, right, which concern me. One, CCP making a massive policy change regarding something that is very prevalent in the ganking community. So prevalent that everyone does it, right? Without any announcement, right? And even if they thought it was like not allowed back in 2015, they should have looked at the statistics and looked at, wow, literally everybody does this thing that we're going to ban this guy for the first time since ever. We should probably like make an announcement saying, hey, we're not going to allow this thing anymore. Like, they should have had the foresight, instead of permanently banning these people, to actually look at what was happening, right?
Give them a warning. Hey guys, we're going to be changing this rule. This is your warning. Don't do this anymore.
Yeah, and so they should have, even if they thought they were in the right and thought it was something that shouldn't be happening, right? Without thinking that they were changing something consciously, they should have been like, "Wow, so many people are doing this. We should let people know at first, right?" And then if they were making a conscious policy change, they should have 100% let us know. It's criminal that they didn't let us know. It's horrible. And another thing too is the actual effect this has on ganking, which is absolutely massive, massive gank. Um, since 2018, freighters have gone up in EHP by about 45%. Tech 2 guns went up by about 20% damage, but EHP went up about 45%, and you can no longer bump freighters for more than 3 minutes. And those two nerfs cut ganking down by like 90%.
Yeah, because
And so,
the warp eventually kicks in. So it's the same if you get stuck in the structure. Same mechanic, isn't it? If you try
yeah,
to warp when you're inside of a structure after 3 minutes, it just warps you.
yep. Yep,
Yeah.
and so the big problem with that is it severely impacted not only ganking but also bump ransoming, right? Gankers got rich not off the ganking, but off of bumping a freighter and ransoming it for money and then letting it go if when it paid, or continuing the scam or whatever, right?
Mm.
Or potentially just scamming for ransom, right? That was the main source of money, because you could bump a freighter. He's carrying 3 bill and say, "Give me 1.5 bill or you die," and he pays up. And if you let him go, that's just free 1.5 bill, right? And
Yeah.
that happened all the time, because we would have so many targets. we could have like 2 or 3 bumpers out there, and we would kill whatever doesn't pay. And so we had an actual business model, and it was just free liquid coming in. We didn't have to spend any on ships. And with that gone, bump ransoming gone, that cut off 75 to 80% of ganking revenue. That the ransoms were just a liquid injection, and now everything is a cost benefit analysis of whether or not it's profitable. And so CCP is already so heavily nerfed ganking. Why give us more hoops to jump through, especially ones where like we could just potentially get banned if we pull for the wrong reason, or oops, we fail gank. Does that mean we're gonna get banned? Because like, who knows what our intent was, right? Were we just trying to move it off the Savala gate? Right? It's just so much. It's such a weird intentional nerf if it's intentional. I have a
Well,
hard time believing it. I have a hard time believing it's a conscious policy change. I think it's just GMs fucked up and they forgot what the rule was supposed to be for.
or at least the spirit of the rule, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that when the whatever the capital sites are now, I can't remember what they're called. I
Crap.
know that when the crab sites, I know when they had they found an exploit for that, they made a massive announcement to go, hey, if you do this, you will get banned. And so you'd think they'd do the same thing for that, like even if it was just a pop up for like rules change on the EVE Online launcher or something.
Even if they put it out in a little bit, word would get around, and then you wouldn't permaban people if they continue to do it. You'd hit them with like a 7-day and like say, hey, we're just hitting you with a 7-day, so you have to look at our rules and pay attention and don't do this anymore, right?
Yeah, like I've
There's a
I've
million
done
things they
worse
could have
in
done.
EVE, and I've only ever gotten warnings.
But and I have no faith in the GM team or like CCPs. I have so many horror stories, and I'll give a quick one here. We had a guy who was mass reported for input broadcasting for months, and he eventually got banned, permanently banned, no appeal, right? Every appeal he sent in was ignored and immediately closed, right? He had to create new accounts to appeal, those got closed. We had to get the CSM to allow him to actually do an appeal, right? We had a CSM member petition for him to do an actual appeal. He put in an appeal, he put his questions out, it got denied, and then we're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, we know he's not IS Boxer ganking. We had to sleuth through a billion kills, and we kind of lined up which kill it was because a couple people who weren't the multi-boxer also got banned, right? And so we're like, oh, what kill is it? What kill is it? Yeah, people got banned for playing with the IS Boxing broadcaster guy, allegedly, right? Allegedly IS Boxer broadcasting. He wasn't. He doesn't even use IS Boxer. But the point ends up being we identify the kill in question, and we go through the guy who was quote unquote broadcasting's videos. He used to record all the time, and it just so happened that he had recorded the one kill in question. CCP would not confirm it was a kill in question or what kill ended up leading to it. All they said is that he was broadcasting. We said, we think this is the kill on the guy that you thought was problematic. Here you go. Put the video. He had to wait like 2 more months, but eventually he got unbanned. And the only reason he got unbanned was because he literally had the video of the kill. He just happened to have it. If he didn't, he would be permanently banned still. 400 billion ISK he had in liquid down the drain.
Right.
And that's why I have absolutely no faith in CCP. Absolutely none when it comes to bans.
Yeah, there's a bit of injustice like going on with that in terms of the bans and whatnot, but seems like they're just kind of slowly moving away from ganking as a viable playstyle in the game, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably trying to go with their new player experience. They're trying to get higher retention. They're worried that high sec, which is supposed to be, you're safe in high sec, is being seen as a dangerous place to be, and new players, they get shot on a gate. They're like, oh, I'm supposed to be safe, and stop playing. So I think that might be. I'm not agreeing with it at all, dude. Like, I think it's a valid play style. I don't like it personally, but I'm not gonna fucking shit on you for doing what you want to do in the game to have fun. But that's, I think, might be where CCP's coming from.
Yeah, but they're kind of just like catering to the Care Bear playstyle, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not like
not what
ganking
EVE's like known for, really.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that for like the last 5-6 years. They've been pushing it in that direction,
Yeah.
and so like, in my opinion, I think it's gonna water down the game more, and it'll become more like every other game, and then die.
Like,
And
we
if
used
you
to
look at the
do
trend,
Burn
like
Cheetah.
5 years. We can't even do Burn Cheetah anymore. They removed Burn Cheetah by putting the bump timers on. You literally can't do Burn Cheetah anymore. It takes more than 3 minutes to undock and warp to a target. It's just not feasible. CCP literally removed Burn Cheetah, and this is something that isn't talked about ever, anywhere. Like, CCP made it impossible to burn Cheetah. They
Yeah, it's
killed
just
it.
becoming like more watered down and kind of clean and high sec. It's
I
less
think that's a
interesting.
challenge, Luke. I think Goons might want to go burn Jitter again.
That's why we haven't had it in the last couple of years, because CCP literally made it impossible.
Yeah,
Between
I remember.
tie-dye and all the lag and desync issues being worse, and perimeter, you can't go into perimeter because there's so many citadels on the gate. When you jump a fleet and half the people's clients crash, and if their clients crash, they die because they're -10 because they're gankers, right? And so it's like, it's just harder and harder and harder. And not to mention, they changed the Jita station model, so you can't even scan things that undock anymore. They instantly warp and jump through the gate. And so like, it's just nerf after nerf after nerf. If me and the people who gank today went back in time to 2013 before all the nerfs, people would lose their mind. We have gotten so incredibly good at this game because of all the adversity we faced. Although tons of us have quit the game, but if we could go back in time and retain the people we had back then, the game would grind to a halt. We would kill so much. Freighters would go down. Freighters now have nearly like 280,000 EHP, fully untanked, like anti-tanked, right? Back then in 2013, all freighters had 150k EHP.
Yeah.
All of them. You couldn't fit low slots on them. They all had trash EHP. You could kill every freighter with 10 T2 catalysts and 8.5. Every single one. They would just die. It'd be bop, 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 bop. We would kill everything that came into Uedama and also Niarja because it existed back then. So the insane amount of ganks that have happened, the insane amount of adversity, and the only reason people still do it is because we're funded through other means, right?
I
Love has had $1.5 trillion in the wallet since forever that they've just had from this old guy, this old goon called Warakini, literally carrier reddit on like 15 carriers until we had like $1 trillion in the wallet because he thought ganking was going to eventually die. I guess he was right. So we have a huge wallet we can keep ganking on, but I don't know how much longer that's going to last. People only do it because like they enjoy the actual gameplay. It's not profitable. It's profitable if you're super selective, but no one wants to sit there for 6 hours waiting for something barely profitable to come through, right? You just want to kill shit.
Yeah. You wanna pad your kill board. You don't give a crap about what drops. Yeah.
It's just, it's so hard now. It's everything is like, it's so difficult. Everything has to be so difficult. There's always some kind of drama. There's always somebody getting falsely banned. We all have to offshore our money onto our quote unquote brothers' characters. So if we do get banned, we can retain some of our wealth.
I'd like you to
Almost
meet my brother Switzerland.
Yeah, almost every single person who has been ganking for at least a couple years has gotten permanently banned. And it's not because we're fucking cheating or we're exploiting. Some random bullshit happens, and then we're lucky to get unbanned. Like, it's you're just rolling the dice. Like, eventually I'm gonna get permanently banned again, and then I'm gonna have to start over.
Again. I mean,
Yeah,
at least with
yeah,
skill injectors, it makes it a little bit easier.
I mean, it's not
yeah.
really something you should have to worry about, right?
No,
If
it,
you're
it isn't.
not exploiting the game or anything and just
It,
I
like
was
it's not.
banned.
It's
living the
something that's
pirate
been.
lifestyle.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
banned
something that's
total
been
of
part of
4
the game.
times. I've been banned a total of 4 times. 3 times the ban was eventually reversed after months of waiting. The 4th time was a permanent ban. It was for creating, it was a quote unquote a disproportionate use of server systems, right? That's for creating like 1,500 alpha accounts. I was going to use a bunch of alpha accounts and a bunch of systems to do a bunch of cool things, right? And that got me banned. And then eventually, I got that account unbanned from the clemency thing that CCP did like a couple months ago, like a year ago at this point. The whole get your old accounts unbanned or whatever. So I have access to every character I've ever had now, but I have eaten 4 permabans. They were all permabans. They've either been revoked or eventually I got my accounts back. So I have
Yeah.
no faith in CCP's customer support / GM team. I have none at all. and anyone who's ganking also has none. Because we have to deal with them on the regular, and it's not because we're evil fucking exploiters, not even a little bit. We play it so within the rules because we're so afraid of losing everything that we've ever had. It's insane, dude. It's incredible.
Well, we actually have a. So let me just. Sorry about this. I'm gonna like plug something off your thing at the moment. On the 19th to the 21st of November, we have Eve Down Under. On the Saturday at 1000 Eve time is a CCP Ask Me Anything. The Saturday will be run by myself and Luke. So if you're going to be on around about this time, man, take this opportunity, hop on and shoot a question to CCP yourself. Ask
Yeah,
them
they're
like these questions. See what
they're
they
not
say.
going to. Yeah, I've done so many different things. I've had focus groups. I've had direct contact with CCP employees. I've talked with tons of CSM members. They are never able to actually help the ganking problems. Never at all. We told them exactly what the bump changes we're gonna do, make burn Jita illegal, and it's like, no, burn Jita will still be possible. It's not even close to possible. We couldn't even attempt it if we wanted to.
They
And then
just
they're like, oh, you're just not doing it to spite us. Like, no, why would we spite you? We want to fucking burn Jita, you fucking dumbasses. Like, holy shit. Like, you think we want to just stop playing the game to spite you? I mean, we want to play the game. You're just making it impossible. I'll show up. I'll try and ask the question. They're not going to answer it in a satisfactory way. They're going to, I guarantee you it's going to be some BS response.
it'll probably be a political response, but it'll still be interesting just to see if you do get that one CCP member who's happy just to be like, "Yo, bro, boom, he's the fucking skinny."
Do you know which dev it's going to be or which CCP guy?
We're not sure who's going to be up and awake for it at the moment. No.
Okay, that's
So it's probably still going to be like CCP convict and stuff like that. So I think the Aussie CCP guys are coming across. I hope. But I do know that a couple that I don't recognize the name of are possibly coming as well. So we might actually get a good amount across the divisions. I don't know if any GMs are coming, but CCP members will be.
Yeah,
But
I'd
yes,
like
that's
to.
once again Eve Down Under, 19th of November to the 21st of November.
19th to the 21st. Make sure to be there.
I'll
And
send you something to actually throw up on the screen if you can, Luke. That's the dates and times of all the stuff.
alright, sure, I'll figure it out. Give me 2 seconds. Keep talking about whatever.
Oh, you want me to talk about whatever? Alright, cool. Yeah. So, look, man, I think it's a really shit go lobby. As I said, I'm not a fan of ganking. It's just not my playstyle. But the fact that you and your friends and your groups, and we all know the big fucking gank groups, you know. The fact that they're not able to actually play the game that they want because of semantics. No, it's actually the poster. Because of the way that they're reading it, the way the semantics, the way it's written compared to how they're reading it is a pretty good show. Pretty shit. There will be merch. Swag. There will be swag handed out for Eve Down Under. Yes. CCP wanted to give us a bunch of stuff to actually hand out at the event when the event was going to be. There we go. So that's the Eve Down Under 2021. So it will be streamed on the CCP stream. So yeah, look, guys, come on, have a chat. If you guys are interested, if any of you people are interested, you see yourself or a friend of yours as an AUTZ player of note, whether you be a leader, an FC, like anything like that. We want to try to get some of the Australian members of Fraternity and AOM to join, so that way you guys can plug the Australian groups within the Chinese community. I'll send you guys. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Give me 1 second. For the Eve Down Under Discord. So the Eve Down Under Discord is in the chat. Join the Discord. Hit up Sin blah blah blah. Sorry,
Sin
Sin, if you're
Alama.
watching. Yeah, hit up Sin Alama and be like, "Yo, I'm a part of this group. I am an Australian FC. I'm an Australian corp leader, like CEO. I am an Australian alliance leader. I'm an Australian diplomat. We've got a section for you on that Saturday. So come hit them up. Come play with us. And yeah, Globby, come on Saturday, man. Hit up CCP. See if you can't hit him with a big question. See what kind of response you get, brother.
All right, if I don't work, I'll be there.
If you do have work, shoot me the question. I'll throw it to them.
Will do.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I'd-
curious to see what the response of this is going to be.
I'd like to see him ganking come back into being like a popular activity. I've actually never been on a burn cheater, so it'd be cool to eventually get onto one. If they can bring it back, could have make some positive changes for ganking. That'd be cool.
That's right. You're a sweet summer child, aren't you? Like, how long have you been playing E4, Luke?
I've been playing since like late 2015. It's just that I had a few long breaks in between.
I'm a child.
I-
What about you?
Depends on who you are. But yeah,
What about
Globby,
you,
how long have
Globby?
you been playing?
Sorry, I didn't have push to talk on. What was the question?
How long have you been playing Eve?
Oh, since 2006.
Oh, damn. Fucking, he's older than I am, man. He's been playing back in the days of Suis. Back in the deep, dark, Wild West Eve days.
Yeah, I've done. People love to be like, "Oh, Globby, you're just a hindsight ganker," and blah blah blah. I've literally done everything in Eve. Literally everything.
Yeah.
You name it, like ERPing, everything.
Yup.
Oh no.
Oh, come here, my little Mimitar slave girl.
Like, honestly, I've done every single aspect. Maybe like not like hard knocks, like high level tier evictions or something like that from wormholes. Probably not that, but
Tell someone wants your transcript of your EUP.
yeah. It starts with me putting on a robe and a wizard hat, and
Pretending you're
Jesus,
villain.
right.
if you
Oh.
wanna make me, never mind.
Billy secretly cosplays as Batani.
Yeah,
Billy, don't
anyway.
kick me. I'll be.
Anyway, dude. Ugh.
We
It's
all love
upsetting.
Wizard Hat.
I literally resubbed right before the news hit that he got banned. I was planning on ganking again, and I resubbed, and then he got banned. I'm like, dude, I literally can't gank now. I resubbed my accounts. I can't gank and play until they update us on what's really happening. Because if this rule stands as is, I can't gank. I would get one gank off a day. One gank a day, and then I have to log off and wait for downtime so Concord despawns so I can log back on and play the game again. Because there's going to be like 20 Concord there, and like, what am I supposed to do? I can't pull them. There's no other gank in the system I want to hit in,
You can't
right?
try like a different gate or something. Like you just keep swapping gates. I don't actually know. I don't know the gank.
Because the rule is the intent, right? If your intent is to delay Concord response, you can't do it. So if I do a fake gank on some random bullshit on another gate, that's still breaking the rules.
What if it's a
Right?
legitimate gank though? And the whole
But
idea
it won't
between
be
swapping.
it won't be a legitimate gank. It'll just look like a legitimate gank, but I'm still breaking the rules, right? I can do a billion things to make it look legit, right? But that's not what I want to do.
It's
I
like
think
that
what
kind of that
Globby's
doesn't really
saying is
seem fair to me. Like if you know if I'm if that's the equivalent of holding your cloak on a gate until an enemy fleet disappears in my eyes. Like you're not gonna uncloak and when they're fucking there to shoot you. So why the fuck would you shoot something on a gate when there's something there that's gonna shoot you? Why not go somewhere else without the like? I know like CCP is gonna be like, oh, the intent was this, and be like, well, no, my intent was to shoot them away from the enemy. You know, like that doesn't seem fair in my opinion, and I guess that's where you're coming from at the moment as well. That it's not fair.
Yeah, it's definitely not fair. And ganking's already as hard as it is. It's so easy to steal loot from gankers. You have no idea. Once a freighter starts getting shot, like 10 guys in magnates approach it, and they steal random stuff. And sure, we kill most of them, but they still looted it into their cargo hold and then have died and have trashed the other half of what they picked up.
I used to put mobile tractor units on like fucking gank gates, just try to get whatever I could. Come back a few days later and loot it.
And that's the problem. We'll like kill like a 10 bill freighter, 3 bill gets or like 5 bill will drop on average, 3 bill will get stolen, and if that 3 bill that gets stolen, maybe like 500 mil will drop because we kill some of the people that run away, and then it's like, okay, well that wasn't even worth it. We still lost money on that thing, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is probably like the worst time for something like this to happen, right? With the loot drop of
Yeah. That's
Well,
not
it's
cool.
always like that. There's always a billion loot thieves because all you have to do if you're in a magnate, all you have to do is steal one scoop and then warp off and dock up, and you scoop like a bill here, 500 mil there, 750 mil there. Some people have stolen 7 bill in a single go. I think the most was like 11 bill, right? And you're risking a magnate.
Yeah.
We have just as much of a good chance at looting the wreck as they do, and they did none of the work for it. They didn't do the scouting, they didn't do the planning, they didn't do the prepping, they didn't make the spreadsheets, they didn't bring the ships in, they didn't manufacture the ships, right? They didn't fucking prep and load all the ships. They didn't have to actually multi-box 10 accounts and load them all and then fire at the freighter and kill it and then actually succeed. They didn't have to do any of that, right? They just have to be there and wait and watch.
Yeah. And then just loot whatever's on the field.
Yep.
No risk, high reward.
Not to mention, there are these people. This guy will just warp 7 maulers down to the freighter, and if we land within range and he just activates the smart bombs, we die. We just fail gank. There's no counter. He'll just
Wouldn't he get
sit there with
concorded
Citadel.
himself?
Oh yeah, but he kills all of us before we can kill the freighter.
Fair.
There's no counter. Like, there's nothing we can do about it. There's other things that are even more oppressive that I dare not say because they have even fewer. They're far easier to do, and there's also no counter, right? And so, like, if I wanted to anti-gank with the 10 accounts that I have ready to go right now, actually I have like 20, but I only have 10 subbed. With my 10 accounts, I could stop every single gank from happening in UA Dama forever and always. There will never be a freighter dying in UA Dama. And this just goes to show you how stupid and terrible the anti-gankers are. They're all incompetent, terrible morons. Right? If people actually want to stop us, they easily could. And this is why all these nerfs they keep stacking on top of us over and over and over again are just so oppressive because all you need is that one smart guy to log in, and then you can't do anything at all because they've already neutered you so much. Okay, what's fair about creating a Catalyst account and in 10 days be able to destroy a Marauder that took 6 months for a player to get into? So in 10 days, you can't solo a Marauder. 10 accounts can't solo a Marauder, actually. So 10 Tech 1 Catalysts can't kill a Marauder, right?
You
And
need
if you're
NATO
piloting,
sniping.
yeah, it would take maybe 20 or 30 Tech 1 Catalysts to kill a Marauder, right? Depending on what system you're in or whatever. If you're going through UA Dama, all you have to do is micro warp drive cloak trick and you're not getting killed. You're not getting caught. In fact, all you have to do is hit the micro warp drive and the catalysts are going to be far out of range by the time they land. There's basically, if you're in a Marauder and you know what you're doing, you don't die to gankers. The only people that die are people that have no idea what they're doing or people that are autopiloting. And this is another thing. If you just don't go into UA Dama with the freighter, you just don't die.
If you think this is just gankers tears, then feel free to come into the New Eden Post Discord and
not a single
tell us
person.
about your point of view.
Yeah, not a single person that's talking shit will actually get on comms. You have no idea how many times I've tried to get the idiots on Reddit who just detest ganking, like especially Ron USMC. I made him look like a fucking moron on TIS one time, and then never had me on afterward. And he just clearly, these people have no idea how the actual game works. It's just, it blows my mind. They never want to talk to you. They never want to get on comms. They never want to have a voice discussion. They'll just post random bullshit. Like the amount of people that I've had to actively debunk in that Reddit thread is insane. I must have made like 70 or 80 posts. Like this guy, what's his name? Reddit thread. I'm not going to say his name. He posted the same misinformation thing to like 25 posts. He just copied and pasted the same response. And I literally had to go around and say, "Hi, you are spreading misinformation. Stop doing that and argue with me here in this post. Don't listen to this guy. He's literally constantly lying." He was completely unaware of like 3 different things when I brought it up to him. One, when you gank in a system, right? When there's no Concord in the system, right? You have a response time, right? So in Uedama, it's 19 seconds. You have 19 seconds before Concord comes and kills you, approximately. If there is a Concord in system, as in somebody had ganked before, it is 6 seconds longer, approximately 6 seconds longer. So it's like 24 seconds in Uedama, right? This guy thought it was 2 seconds, right? It was a hill he was willing to die on. He said it was on the Eve Uni wiki. All of this was wrong, by the way. The Eve Uni wiki says 6 seconds. I don't know where he got this 2 second number out of it. He was willing to die on this hill. These people just don't know what they're talking about. They are beyond ignorant. They just don't have a clue. And another guy was saying something along the lines of, how is it fair that if you just have 5 alts just AFKing in a rookie ship that you can kill freighters without losing your ship? What does that even mean? Where are you even getting this? How would you even get that from, like, what this exploit notification is? It has nothing to do with that. Like, that's not how it works at all. Like, they're saying the most wrong things constantly. Just how stupid these people are. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the complaints against ganking are people who expect to be completely safe in high. I think most of us can agree that even high sec shouldn't be completely safe.
It's safer to gate around fucking nullsec as long as you stay away from the staging systems than it is fucking high sec.
Hey,
I mean-
YouTube freak, if you want to talk trash, YouTube freak, get on the Discord and talk to me. I know you're gonna stutter every other word, like but if you come here, I will have a good faith discussion with you and show you how much you don't know.
I admit, a lot of what I actually hear about gankers, so we got a message from Tweet. The one time I'm being ganked, a good fight in local, and the guy paid for my ship. He told me what I'd done wrong. In a lot of ways, it was a learning experience, but I've since taken a board and haven't been ganked since. Actually, that is something I see a lot about gankers. If you guys accidentally gank a new, what is clearly, because we can all tell the difference between a new bro and a guy who's just made a new account, and just in the way they act, the way they talk, things they say. A lot of the times, I read a lot of stories where you guys gank an actual new bro, realize it's a new bro. You guys will fucking stick him into a better ship, tell him how not to have it happen again, and send the bro on his way. Like that's a good thing. That's one of the good things that come out of gankers, I've noticed.
One of the biggest things I always have people do when they're new to ganking. Here, I'm gonna give you 15 mil. Go buy a Tech 1 Catalyst, which is only a couple mil. Gank Adventure and give him 10 mil. That's how I introduce people to ganking, right? Because if they gank a new player, that's good for player retention. Right? Not many people know this. CCP themselves have said that new players who get ganked tend to play the game for longer. Not just a little bit longer, tend to play twice as long, right? Twice as long. They're twice as likely to continue playing the game, minimum.
You guys either teach them to do better, or they get really pissed off and they want to be the one who ganks the next person.
Right. You have no idea. Okay. Almost every single ganker in my little group, the classic OG code people, now safety people, were previously ganked by somebody. Almost every single one of us. I am one of the exceptions, but the only reason I got into the code group was because my friend got ganked, right? Back in 2013, this guy, Siegfried Cohenberg, okay, he was mining his retriever, and the classic Loyal Anon, one of the OG gankers, invited him to fleet, then warped catalysts onto him, ganked him, and then killed him. They got him on the comms, milked him for tears, but then he started playing with them, right? Joined the community, did so many innovative things. He ran around high sec, messaging every single person who owned pos sticks and say, "Hey, I want to buy your real estate." And so they would unanchor the tower, and he would decloak a blockade runner and scoop it up. He made tens of billions doing this. It's a dead meme now. Can't really do it anymore. Nobody cares about sticks anymore. Or moon locations really that much anymore. All right.
Yeah.
Next thing he did, he created career bumping. So because this one, he did so many other cool things too, and then he brought me into it, and I did fuck tons of things too. Basically, the end of the story is that almost everybody who's in code has been ganked before. Right? They all join in. We bring them into the fold. If you've been ganked and you're like, fuck it, I lost everything. I want to join you guys. Teach me how to be you. We bring them in. We teach them. We give them free ships. We give them shit to shoot at. You join and talk with us. We'll teach you how to do everything. Right? We literally have turned, like, we're all gankers. We've all been ganked, right? We've all come from getting killed illegally in high sec, and then contributed to the quote unquote problem, right? And this is how it's an amazing thing, right? I don't know how many times I've scammed somebody for 5 billion, 10 billion, 50 billion, and then have them stick around because they lost everything, and then they kind of liked the way we did it, not the way we scammed them, but that we are evil, or we're the bad guys in the game, right? We're all chill, like on TeamSpeak when we talk, but we're the bad guys in the game, and we're some overly bureaucratic organization that, there's so much red tape and so much bullshit that, like, even we can follow the rules 100%, but there's so many like caveats to the rules and whatever, and that we can pretty much violate you on whatever agreement that we had. But it's really cool and it's interesting with a ton of people, right? And so we bring so many people into our group. Like even this guy, I talked to him. I brought him on a Discord, and I scammed him on Discord for 400 bill. It was about 450 bill over 13 hours. 13 hours. I had him screen share and give me everything, and I didn't have him give me his API. I just had him put his own API into a website so I can see all of his assets, and then I just looked at it. So I never actually asked for it, so it's not against the rules, right? And then we took all of his assets and everything, and he still plays with us to this day. This was 3 years ago, and I guarantee you he's probably made 150 bill back by now. So he hasn't made it all back, but he's actually enjoying the game now instead of just being a high sec mission running slave, right? He always tells us it was the best thing that ever happened to him, even though he lost all that money. Most of it was in his skill points. He had like 2 or 3 characters. Yeah, he's been playing since 2004, and he fell for this, right? He had like 2 or 3 characters with like 200 million skill points. Sucked it all dry. But yeah,
Dealing with gankers is definitely trial by fire. There's no tutorial alive at the moment that can prepare you for, suddenly getting tackled in high sec and a whole bunch of fucking catalysts or something jumping on you. You just kind of got to grit your teeth and be like, well, fuck.
and I've killed so many quote unquote good players too. I've killed Graf Telkin at least 3 or 4 times in high sec.
Did he give you an angry PM or something after that?
No, he wasn't in Goons at the time. He was still in PL at the time, so.
Have you got any spicy Grath token tiers?
I think I did at the time. Somebody sent me chat logs of him saying it's fucking stupid that fucking 17 people can fucking kill me and blah blah blah. Something like that. It was a chat log though. Grath is he's against ganking in general too, so.
Yeah,
Some
it's a
people
controversial
surprisingly are, yeah.
Look, it's like the Nickelback of Eve. You either love it or you hate it. There's no middle ground.
God, I love it. Dude, unfortunately, it's so shitty now with all the loot thieves. Everybody is a loot thief. There's a loot thief everywhere. So
Yeah,
it's
no.
not fun to do the small scale stuff and just chill out and have fun. Killing
Doing
industrials anymore is just stressful because I refuse to let people get my loot. It's just I wish I could go back to the days of 2013, 2014, 2015 when there weren't 20 loot thieves on every single gate trying to steal shit. And you could just chill, kill Tech 1 industrials worth 200 mil, then combo them afterwards and chill and chat while you're waiting for the next 300 mil guy to come through or whatever. And you can't do that anymore.
I remember when so we had one of tests. We had a war deck, and we were fighting them in perimeter, and we had the loot fucking goblins coming up, and they'd realize which of our ships were the blingiest, and they'd start bumping you so that way the enemy could blow you up or we could blow them up. So that way they could be sitting on the wreck that they knew was going to be blingy and take all the shit out of it and fucking run off to the keep stuff or drop it off. Mate, it's like flies to shit. It doesn't matter if it's ganking or if it's war decking. They're fucking there. They're vultures, man.
And the thing is, it's so low effort for them. They literally have to sit there and wait. They don't even have to look at the monitor. They can just have sound on it. Once they start hearing the of the warpins, right, then they just approach, right?
Yeah.
Because they know what's happening. And they approach, and they're in a magnate with less than 500,000 ISK, right? So there's no cost, right? And if they die, who cares?
Yeah.
And so it's yeah. And there's just no counter to it either. Like you can't gank them. If you gank them, it'd be more expensive. You'd be wasting more money, and then you literally couldn't gank. The counter is to literally not log in and gank. That's the counter.
Kind of on this topic actually, something I wanted to ask you, Luke, is someone who does a lot of ESS thieving. What do you think about the changes to the ESS in nullsec?
What, like the reserve bank?
No, the what is it? The whole aggression timer now when you
Oh, the
jump
log
in.
off timer.
Yeah, or you
I
can't
don't know. It's a
filament
bit of
out and stuff. Like, do you solo ESS or do you guys filament out when you've got like a lot of money, or do you just go in balls deep and you either die in a fire or limp home?
I don't do filaments with fleets, but sometimes I'll do solo filaments, and yeah, I'm not sure what kind of thing they were trying to solve with the log off timer on connecting to an ESS, because all that does is like makes it so that there's more time between jumping between dead zones. Like sometimes you'll get a dead filament land in a system with like 50 mil in the ESS and just grab that, and
Yeah.
then head off to another filament because there's nothing going on there.
I think I know that watching Pando stream, like Pando will go in and if he gets like, a couple of bill or something sitting in his thingy and he's got a big fleet chasing after him, he'll filament out. So I think it's like to try to stop people like doing those kind of tactics. And I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think it's a legitimate strategy for solos, but on the other side, I fucking hate it when I'm trying to chase a fucking ESS thief and they just filament the fuck out. And you're like, oi, come
I
back,
mean, it's
you
not
little
hard
shit.
to give someone a combat timer normally, right? You just need to shoot at them once. You don't even need to hit.
Yeah, if they're good, it's a bit tricky. There's some good fucking ninjas out there, man. Fucking ninja!
Yeah, but even if you get like a target painting Huguenin or something, you just paint them once at like 150k, and it's like they're stuck there for 15 minutes. But
Yeah,
now you're stuck there every single time, regardless of whether there's people there or not. And you can, if you've got like a bunch or you need to escape someone, then before the change you just film it. But now you've got to kind of just bounce saves for 15 minutes. It's no difference apart from just like twirling your thumbs for more time. So yeah, I haven't really thought about the change too much, but like thinking about it, it's probably not the greatest change.
yeah. I know. I feel like CCP is trying to make it harder and harder for people to make ISK. That's my vibe at the moment with all the changes that make into industry with scarcity, with change with the ESS changes to the ESS, the the percentage in systems going down unless there's PvP in the system, the changes to capitals and payouts and everything. It feels to me like they're trying to strangle the ability to make ISK.
I mean, people weren't making all that much ISK off ESSs anyway, I don't believe.
Well, no,
But
like,
this
I'm talking like
changes.
adding ESS is making ISK a lot harder because no longer would you get a flat amount for a site. You'd get more or a shit ton less depending on what the percentage of the system is and depending if there's any PvP kills. So it makes it a lot trickier.
Pretty much.
Like I know that I used to be able to take my carrier, and I know that doing rock havens and stuff in my carrier would net me about 50 mil a tick. And now it's like, well, it can net me more or less depending on the ESS. And if I'm in a back end pocket that no one ever fucking comes in, it's going to pay me out a lot less. But yeah, so any other topics? Do we want to quickly go over the fight with Brave today? Because I see that we've got like about 30 more people watching the show.
Yeah, I guess we can quickly have another scan through the BI. I think we've gone through it a fair bit already, so we'll just try to be quick with it, I guess. One sec, I'll get it up.
Yeah, so about 12 hours ago, there was probably one of the biggest fights I think since AOM Super Loss, or probably since the war, which was between Bandalogs and Test Alliance. Please ignore and Brave Collective. There was a Brave fort going down in Bandalogs territory. Bandalogs and Test formed a subcat fleet to shoot it. Brave dropped 15 carriers, I think it was. Diva, which is a corporation in Test, counter dropped that with 15 dreads and started bluffing through the carriers. Then Brave counter dropped with dreads, and Horde counter dropped with 50 dreads. Obviously, all the carriers, all the faxes, and about half the dreads got popped, including the fort. Once our subcap numbers got a bit too low, we left because we couldn't really couldn't do it anymore. But yeah, this is one of the biggest fights I've seen in a while. Personally, I don't know about you, Luke, if you've seen something different, but looking at this, it's over 100 bill. This is I haven't seen a fight this big since the war, except for the AOM super feed. It was pretty good. So good job to the guys who fought. Sorry I missed it. To the victors go the spoils, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Once
good to see more big fights happen.
Yes, fuck it. Well, Eve is healing.
And
Delver's
hopefully there's
dying because it's infected by its plague-ridden bacteria again. Swamp.
Yeah.
But look, it shows that people are starting to fight outside of big wars. It was 270 versus 200 and something or other. So it was a good fight. So yeah, hopefully this is the prelude to more combat outside of massive fucking wars again, because we need more content, in my opinion. We also had Globby, who was talking about the CCP changes to ganking. Apparently now it's a bannable offense to pull using rookie ships to pull Concord off a gate, so that way they can shoot something without instantly getting blapped.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it
yeah,
sounds
pretty
shit.
questionable. Hope to be
Also, 19th to the 21st of November on the CCP Twitch will be Eve Down Under 2021. I hope to see you there. We got a really good lineup. CCP has given us merch well, not merch because that implies selling. CCP has given us swag to hand out, so make sure you guys are there. Get some of whatever the swag is that we're going to be getting from CCP. I know that Sinalama is involved at the moment in the conversation with CCP about that. Just will there be Vegemite swag? I wish, man. I want to go send a jar of Vegemite to Teltac in England. He keeps telling me that Marmite's better. I need to prove him wrong. If you consider yourself or a friend of yours or someone who is in your alliance or corporation, playing too much fucking New World, in your corporation, someone who you feel is a mover and shaker in Eve, who is an FC, a content creator, that means either in-game Twitch content creator, YouTube content creator. If you guys are part of the CNTZ alliances, we'd love to get you guys on just to have a chat about who you are, what you do, and what you bring to the AUTZ. Because this is what this show's about. We are Australians. We're a bunch of shit cunts. We're talking to all you guys about all the stuff that's going on within our time zone and stuff that you might have missed within the EU and US. So jump on that Discord that I've just linked in. Hit up Sinalama and be like, yo, I'm a big dog in my alliance. I take out massive fleets. We dunk bitches and jump
You don't
up
have to
onto the.
take out massive fleets, just FYI.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. If you're a content creator, big or small, jump on. Then I think it's the 20th of November is when we're going to be doing the AUTZ content creator chat. So you can jump on to the Twitch stream. You can have a chat who you are. Try to get some more members. Get your name out there. Anything else we want to talk about tonight, Luke?
I guess we'll start wrapping up. Globby, you got any final thoughts? Stuff you want to wrap up? Quick summary.
Yeah, technically, per the ruling of the words, ganking itself is against the rules. So CCP literally said ganking is bannable, and that's cool. That's fun. Fuck CCP. That's it.
Final thoughts? Just get down to ED.
Yeah, look, guys. As I said, me and hopefully Luke, we have been offered to be the host for the Saturday for Eve Down Under. I'd love to see all you guys there. The more people we can get, is obviously the better. The more that CCP sees that there is a community out there and doesn't overlook us Aussies and try to help us out. next year with all the vaccinations, like guys, make sure you get your double vax. I know some of you may not be a big fan of it. I ended up getting double vaxxed because I want to see you all guys next year, even under 2022. Fingers crossed it will be in person. We can all get fucking pissed as a net and just have a laugh on a pub crawl. I really miss human interaction. Also, Black Omega Security is recruiting. Fuck
A
Fleet.
lot of corps are recruiting. Camouflage is recruiting, I think.
No, fuck Fleet. Join Black Omega Security.
Anyway, AMOC is recruiting, I believe.
I don't
We'll
know.
wrap it up.
All right, I've got a raid target. If that's all right with you, Luke. This is one of the Bomber Bar FCs who's currently streaming at the moment.
Yeah,
I've been watching it for a bit. Looks like it's going to be a bit of content. So we think we're going to send you over to Nova Valentis, apparently a Bomber Bar FC since 2014. So
Yeah, if
thanks
you
for
want to
watching
see
the
some
show, guys.
bomber action, just sit with the page open and we'll send you over to
But also,
Nova Valentis. Nova Valentis.
all right, guys, I'm Kale from Test Black Omega Security. Thank you for watching the show. You've all been great. Love you all. Appreciate you. You have to do it, Luke. You've got editing rights.
Oh, okay.
It kind of gets like that, you know, like. But yeah, guys, enjoy. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll be streaming next Saturday as well. So stick around for the raid, get your free points, and goes towards a skin at 10,000.
Oh,
What?
I
You don't get a
just
skin?
straight up think it's not working.
No, it is. Like a countdown takes like 30 seconds or something.